guys, this is Eugene. Welcome to another guitar lesson, and today I want to show you, in my opinion, the four most essential scales for neo-soul and gospel guitar. The first scale that I want to show you is one that I'm using very often, especially in major keys, and it's really essential for neo-soul on B guitar. It's the major pentatonic, and it sounds like this. And there's a really easy trick how you can receive the major pentatonic by using the relative major. For that, we're just gonna play our standard minor pentatonic everybody knows, starting from C sharp, so that would be the 9th fret on the low E string. And now we're just gonna play our standard shape of the minor pentatonic scale. Relative major is always 3 half steps up. So we're just gonna go 3 half steps up. 1, 2, 3, and there we have our new root note, which would be in this case E. So we're just gonna play the same scale as we did before, and we will receive the E major pentatonic. And there are some cool tricks that neo-soul and gospel players always do when they play the major pentatonic, and it's incorporating different double stops and different intervals into the scale, as some people like to call the gospel scale, something like that. Let me show you some cool tricks. So the first cool thing you can do is you do a little bar on the 9th fret A string and D string, so that you have something like a 4th, and then you do a hammer on the A string to the 11th fret, but you play the A string and the D string together. The same thing you can do starting from the D string, so you do a little bar again on the D string and G string, 9th fret, and then you do your hammer on again on the 11th fret. The same thing you can do on the 12th fret, starting from the B string. So you do a bar on the 12th fret B string and high E string, and on the B string 14th fret you can do your hammer on, and you'll receive the same sound. Let me show you another cool trick that I like to do. It's incorporating thirds, so 2 minor thirds and 1 major third. That would be this sound. And for that we're gonna play on the 13th fret G string with our 3rd finger, and with our 2nd finger we're gonna play on the 12th fret B string. That will be our first interval, and then we using the same shape and just sliding the shape 1 tone down. And then we can do another bar on the 9th fret B string and G string. The next scale I want to show you is one of my favorites. It's the Melodic Minor scale, which basically is a major scale with a minor third, and it's really great for minor keys and minor chords, especially if you want to incorporate a different sound or kind of like an outside sound, and maybe you have to get used to it at first, but it's a really cool sounding scale, and it's used very often by neo-soul and B guitar players. there are two shapes which I'm using, which I'm mainly using, and you basically almost always play that scale downwards. So you start from the high E string and actually play that scale downwards, and this is the first shape that I'm using. And that would be the D melodic minor scale. This is another example of the D melodic minor scale that I'm using. The next scale I want to show you is a really essential standard scale for neo soul and R&B guitar. It's the altered scale, and you can always use that scale with dominant chords or altered dominant 7 chords to create tension, because this is what dominant chords are for, to create tension. And the cool thing about the scale is you can use the same scale shapes as I showed you before with the melodic minor scale, because it's the 7th mode of melodic minor, and you can use the same scale shapes just starting from the 7th step, because it's the 7th mode of melodic minor, and in this case it would be the major 7. So you just start the scale from the major 7 using the same scale shapes and you'll receive the altered scale. Let me show you examples. So in this case we have an altered A7 chord, dominant 7 chord, going to D minor 7. And now I'm using the altered scale over that dominant 7 chord. And this is for the more advanced guys. If you use a tritone substitution for the dominant chord, for the altered dominant chord, which would be in this case a dominant 7 sharp 11 chord, that would be a standard tritone substitution. And you play that altered scale, you will receive the 4th mode of melodic minor, which would be Lydian dominant, and this is a scale I like to use for tritone substitutions very often. Another really important scale we like to use very often is the blues scale, and we're using that scale to create that bluesy jazzy sound, and it's basically your standard minor pentatonic, but we're incorporating the blue note. If you don't know what the blue note is, it's basically the tone in between the 5th and the 4th. So it's a sharpened 4th or flattened 5th. Some people like to call it the tritone, but in this context we call it the blue note. It sounds like this. I really hope you enjoyed that lesson, and if you want to see more videos like that, then feel free to subscribe to my channel and make sure that you follow me on Instagram as well for more clips.